archaeology breakthrough after paleontologists found an ancient human study. Implications are enormous. They carried out a study into the lives of ancient humans, made a discovery that has enormous implications concerning our species' history. Humans began using tools to transform the way in which they interacted with the world around 2.6 million years ago. It marked the beginning of the Stone Age, an era which saw the acceleration of evolution of hominin, members of the biological family Hominidae, the only species which still lives today being Homo sapiens. Now, we've had a number of extinction level events where a lot of hominid species were wiped out. Now, researchers here believe that hominin may have used some form of stone tools before the beginning of the Stone Age. The oldest indirect evidence found of stone tool being used fossilized among animal bones with tool marks. These are 3.4 million years old and were found in the lower Awash Valley in Ethiopia. In 2015, archaeological discoveries in Kenya turned up perhaps what's the oldest direct evidence of hominin using tools, believed to date from 3.2 to 2.5 million years ago. The advent of metalworking, somewhere about 4000 BC to 2000 BC, marked the end of the Stone Age, the beginning of the Bronze Age. While we have a wealth of knowledge about ancient humans, it's not easy to know in great detail how they went about their lives. But a new study offers a unique glimpse into our early ancestors. This is after researchers discovered that humans in New Guinea, up to 18,000 years ago, were hatching cassowary chicks and potentially raising them into adulthood. So, like we have chickens today or turkeys, this is what they were doing with their chicks. The cassowary chicks, which basically they're like emus, they're pretty big. The findings suggest that chickens may not, in fact, have been the first domesticated birds, and the study carried out by researchers at Penn State University was explored in BBC's Science Focus magazine. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Dr. Hanneke Meyer, paleontologist who was not involved with the research, said the huge significance of the study, said the implications of this are enormous. It's generally, he said, considered that chickens were the first domesticated birds, although the date and place of domestication, whether it was one event or several, remains highly contested. But this research shows that this might not be the case. Cassowary chicks are big, flightless birds native to Australia, the Aru Islands, and New Guinea. So they're like emus, smaller than ostriches. Now, its 3 species make up 3 of the top 10 largest birds in the world. Christina Douglas, assistant professor anthropology and African studies at Penn State, said about how dangerous raising the birds would have been for ancient humans, because they're huge, as we can see. She said, this is not some small fowl. It's a huge, ornery, flightless bird that can eviscerate you. Most likely, the dwarf variety weighs about 20 kilos. That's about 50 pounds. Today, the chicks are still traded as a commodity. They easily imprint on humans. If the first thing a chick sees is a human, it will follow them as though they were its mother. In their study, researchers examined eggshells from between 18,000 and 6,000 years ago, and they determined how old the embryos inside them were when they were cracked. The team studied how pits formed on the inside to establish how developed the cassowaries were, since chicks get calcium from their eggshells. Professor Douglas said, what we found was that a large majority of the eggshells were harvested during late stages. The eggshells look very late. The pattern is not random. Some say it could be possible that the ancient humans were eating ballets, an Asian street food that involves boiling a nearly developed chick in the shell, and many of the samples showed no evidence of burn marks, suggesting that they were hatched. That's particularly remarkable is the fact that the chickens were not domesticated for thousands of years after the period in which the eggshells are formed. And because of the vast time span involved, the team was not able to say for certain what the birds were used for. No evidence was found for a pen that the cassowaries might have been kept in, and the only cassowary bones found at the site were from the leg and the thigh. It suggests that the birds could have been hunted and used only for their meatiest parts. Dr. Mayer said there's evidence that cassowaries were transported to other nearby islands, and this is easiest to do with chicks because adult cassowaries can be vicious, so they were likely seen as a source of food. But human-bird relationships are often multifaceted, and the birds might have been kept for their feathers or even played a role in symbolism and rituals, as the case today. He said, finally, I can also imagine that if we were to go back in time to New Guinea in the early Holocene, we might also have seen children chasing around and playing with the little cassowary chickens, the chicks. This is by Joel Day and Express UK. So obviously, they were raising them. I would venture to say probably for meat. We even have ostrich meat being sold in supermarkets today. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Even though I have not tasted them, I don't know what they taste like. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.